And I tell anybody that work with me, if you don't love where you work, your clients won't love it. And if your clients don't love it, they're not going to come.
Right.
And people aren't really coming because of y'all. They coming because of the brand.
Yo, we back at it with another episode, man, from A to Z with WB. I got a special guest with me today. Like I tell y'all before, each and every time, this podcast is to connect with entrepreneurs, like the person sitting next to me, and to get their story out to the masses so they can tell you how they got from point A to point Z, and in the midst of it, inspire some people on the way. So I got my special guest next to me, a friend of mine, a homie, somebody I look up to, who's an inspiration, Miss Tiffany Monae. How you doing?
I am good.
Doing pretty good. How's your week so far?
Busy.
Busy.
I
bet.
Very busy.
Bet. Yeah, you got to tell us about what you got going on. Let's get into that. What's new? What's new in your life?
What is new in my life? I am a 6-week-old grandmother.
Oh, okay.
That's
Congratulations.
My newest. So yes, that's the newest thing.
6 week old. Okay.
He's 6 weeks old. Yes, my grandson, first grandson, and
so I know he's gonna be spoiled
already.
So
that's what I have that's going on new.
That's what's up.
In addition to business.
Got you.
And right now with the business, we're just kind of getting back into the flow. I say mid-COVID because we still in it.
How did that affect you?
COVID was different.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that nobody knew what it was going on. So it definitely changed my structure, the structure of my business. So I had to, unfortunately, lay off some people and then rehire in a different way.
I got you.
But all in all, we are surviving and doing very, very well. But it was an eye-opener, and it actually led me to a couple of things that I have going on in business now.
Okay, so the COVID actually came in and just helped you innovate the business a little bit different.
Can we curse? It lit a fire under my It did. It lit something in me, and it was things that I already knew that needed to be done, but just kept putting it on the back burner.
Like, name some of those.
So right now, I do have a product line coming out. It's the things that I use every day in the salon on my clients, and I've always used them, and I would sell them to the clients, but not to the internet, to the world.
Oh, I got you. So just specifically for the client.
And so with COVID, as a salon, I have to touch you. So, of course, we can't be 6 feet apart. So they're panicking. They come every week. They come every 2 weeks. And now you can't come at all, and we don't know when you can come again. So it was like, what am I going to use on my hair? I don't have a comb at home. I don't have shampoo. I don't have this. And all of the things that I've already created for myself that I like to use, it was now, can you make it for me? I want exactly what you use. And I've always wanted a product line, but I always said I'll do it as part of my exit plan, as part of my retirement.
Gotcha. But that put a little extra spark in you, and now you got...
Listen, I needed money.
Right.
So we needed to keep going.
Right.
And it helped us because even though everything was in the works, of course I was slow on labels and stuff like that, but the products were already there. I was still able to make money by selling them and kind of be open because we sold personal care items. So that definitely helped us out a lot because we didn't have to 100% close down. So I was able to sell, shampoo, conditioner, styling aids, masks, and gloves, things like that.
That's what I was going to ask. What were the products? So it was more personal care. Okay.
Yeah. So we got approval through the city to be open, because they were finding salons that were open.
Oh, yeah. So how did that work for you guys? Like,
I applied through the city, I need to be an essential business. My clientele is police, nurses, CNAs.
So did they count
teachers.
y'all as an essential business?
My business was.
Got you.
Because I got everything through the city.
Right.
So, but there were a lot of salons because... I would say to my, not really research, but to understanding how I wanted my business structure to be, a lot of black salons don't retail their products. We send them to Walmart, to the hair store. Right. But I've always been big on retail. That's something that I learned and made it do. Retail, I'm able to pay a car note
Off of retail.
And pay different things, and it doesn't set aside from my everyday goal. So retail was real important because people were coming in left and right. You know, especially if they're essential and they have to be out. Nurses have to look a certain way.
Right. Yeah.
Doctors have to look a certain way, and I'm blessed to have that type of clientele.
That's awesome. Okay, so you got innovative with it and know that you had to add this product and get it out here to the masses.
Wigs, braid wigs, products.
Gotcha.
Whatever they needed, I was up at night trying to make it happen.
Gotcha. So before we get into that, because that's dope to even to think that far out. To like, okay, we gotta do something this COVID and not have your back against the wall. Right. So take me back to. I want to know about young Tiffany Monae. Like, I want to know about.
So
we'll go. I'm gonna give you an age range to go with. Let's say 10-year-old. What do you know what you was like at 10?
Wow, I do, actually. So at 10 years old, so I am the second oldest, but the oldest girl of 6. So at 10 years old, wow, you picked 10. Okay. So at 10
Put you
years,
on the pressure pot. Come on.
No, it's not. It's not at all. Actually, it's actually a part of my story.
Oh, okay. Come on.
So at 10 years old, we were a family of 4. At 11, well, at 10 and 11, we were a family of 5 and 6. At 10 years old, I lost my grandmother. And the same year, my older brother, he's 6 years older than me. He was 16 at the time. He went to jail. And my mom went into, I would say, a depression. Of course, you're not going to talk to your 10-year-old what you're going through, but we went through some life changes. We went from living real nice to the projects. So it was different because we were uprooted from our friends. We moved to a new neighborhood, which was not nice. Right. But that was the change of a lot of things. That was, me being more responsible because now my brother is gone, so I'm the oldest. And of course, I'm the oldest girl. My mom had 4 girls, so I help out with my sister's hair. But my mom did a style that we did we changed it.
Right.
So 10 was like a big deal in how, like, my personality and just really not really starting a struggle, but understanding why people from the hood think differently than someone who was always given.
Right.
At 10 and 11, my mom would, we get all the groceries and stuff. And, if we did what we were supposed to do, chores, we get a little book of food stamps, you know what I'm saying? And
I remember them book of food stamps.
Listen, so we moved from the north side of Jacksonville to south side. But in my mind, people say, oh, the south side bougie.
So you from here?
Yeah.
Okay.
From here.
From Jacksonville.
And so we moved from Dunn Avenue area when there was not many black people on Dunn.
Oh, it wasn't always like?
No. It was redneck city.
You done put me on to something now.
Yeah, so it wasn't nothing like it look now.
Oh, I didn't know that. I always, because when I came, that's what it was.
Nah, it was redneck city. It was very few really blacks, and if you were black, your parents had a good job, things like that. So my mom, we lost everything, with my brother going to jail and, my grandmother. So we moved from, like, the good life to hey, man, you got to walk this way. It too many rock stars around now. I'm a little kid at 10, like, what's a rock star? A basal.
Ah, okay.
So I learned real quick. So we get our little dollar food stamps or whatever. We go buy something for a quarter, 75 cents. We stayed, I don't know if you're familiar with Sin City Caravan area. We lived in Caravan.
I heard of it, but I ain't been over
there. Yeah, good. You don't need to be over there. But, so, you come in, a little corner store, go through. So we were all, me and my sisters that are close in age, we're all about 18 months apart. And then we lived upstairs. My aunt and her kids lived downstairs. And my 2 cousins were our age, so 5 of us. So everybody had at least $1 or $2. We take the $1 food stamp, go buy like a 25 bags and a chip, 75 cents. And we would all put our quarters together. And then at the end of the week after school, when we get out the bus, we go to the Chinese spot. And that was our little eat out.
That was the eat out.
Yeah, so we had all our little quarters. They hated us throwing all the quarters up there. And we would put our quarters together. We couldn't afford but like 1 or maybe 2, you know, little takeouts. But we would walk home. That was our dinner. Like, we made it work, you know. So that definitely, like, started something else. Because all my friends still... that I grew up with lived on the north side, and so we were back and forth, but then it just got to a point where my mom didn't feel comfortable with us, you know, catching the city bus and coming home late. And when we were living there, Pizza Hut ain't delivering over there. Yeah,
in the neighborhood.
You know what I'm saying? Or if they did, you had to walk to Central 21
to get it,
you know. Or, like, I remember being in 7th grade, and me and my friend, we've been friends since 4th grade. We're still friends now. And her mom was like, yeah, they told me you moved. And I was like, yeah, my mom said she can come over. And so, when we lived there, it was called Desert Winds. But initially, it was Caravan Apartments. And then Regency Green used to be called Outrigger. And her mom was like, yeah, give me the address. And so, I gave her the address. You know, she's like, my child ain't coming over there. Heck no. Yeah. So I lost a lot of friends because their parents were like, I heard they steal shoes and they rob. And I'm like, we don't rob us.
Right. Yeah,
it's the people that come in that don't belong here, you know. And like I said, I do have another, you know, siblings on my dad's side and my cousins. And, like, we in the hood, that's our hood. We love each other.
Right.
So, you know, everybody looked out for everybody. We used to see the doctors in the BMWs coming, getting their drugs or whatever. And I'm like, y'all bringing that around here. We just doing what we got to do to survive, you know. So it changed because I did want to, me being the oldest, step in and help my mom. So from there, you know, you learn life lessons as a kid, as a teenager. And then it just kind of went from there.
How long was your brother gone?
At that time, 5 years. My brother addicted to money, you know. And then over time, it just gets more and more time. So right now, unfortunately, he got 2 life sentences.
Now? Oh, I'm sorry to hear
that. We surviving.
I got you. Did y'all were y'all close?
Yeah, me and my siblings are close, very close.
Got you.
I mean, we talk, we write.
So at 10, when he went away, were you speaking to him? Like, was he calling or writing? Or?
Well, at the time, you know, he was downtown, so every Sunday when we would leave church, we
you could go visit. Got you.
And so, you know, he got out, then he went back, then he got out, then he went back. So it was kind of like a cycle, you know.
So being having to pretty much downgrade, going to the hood, then you lose your grandmother, and your brother goes off, he has to do some time. Like, did that spark that entrepreneur spirit in you to say, or give you a mind state to be like, I don't want this type of life, I'm going to do something to help me get up out of it?
Nah, not really.
Not really?
I went to school, and when you have a lot of siblings and your parents getting older and life changes, you know, when we're kids, we don't realize that the struggle our parents go through. Me and my dad are best friends, but we weren't close growing up. I knew him. Right. But we didn't have that relationship yet. So, you know, throughout high school, I'm a high schooler. You know, I know how to braid, do a little hair on the side. I knew I wasn't going to college, but I knew once I graduated, I would work. My mom had other kids, so her priority was you graduate, you work, you do what you need to do. For me,
did anybody in your family like own a business or have any entrepreneurship in them?
Nah, not that I know of. No.
So you was just taught, you know, go to school.
Yeah, and then my
get a good job.
Yeah, well, it ain't get a good job, get a job.
Get a job.
I wanted to go to college, but I got pregnant 17, senior year. So at that point, my mom was like, ain't no college. You got a baby now, you got to work. And that's what I did. So I worked. And then, you know, we young. We don't understand because times were different. A lot of things, some parents weren't as open. So a lot of things we kind of just learned from each other. Right. It wasn't uncommon. I'm 40. But when I was 17, it was probably like 22 of us that was actually pregnant at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
So it was more common. Like,
yeah.
It wasn't a big deal.
It wasn't a big deal. And as long as I had a job and I was taking care of my kids, like, I felt like nobody could tell me nothing because I don't need nobody help. I ain't needed nobody help since, you know.
I got you.
Whenever.
Right.
My brother, he was always there. He did everything and showed me the streets and what to do and what not to do. I knew how to make money.
Yeah.
That wasn't no, and I'm a female, and I was a cute little female. So
did you go down, like, did you dibble and dabble in that?
Yeah, I know a little song.
Okay.
I know a little song.
From Big Brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was certain things that, being in that environment, I was little, I was tough, but people didn't know what to expect. So I was able to make moves how I needed to.
Got you, because you didn't look like the norm.
Right.
I got you.
Right.
So you stood
Not
out.
at all.
I got you.
And, you know, you work. By 19, I had my second child. So at that point, I knew I wasn't, like, going to school or nothing like that.
What was your job then at 19?
So my first job, I worked at Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Well, professional. I worked at Crystals in high school.
Okay, so that was your
I worked at Crystals. That was high school. And then once I I graduated, and then once I had my first child, I worked at like it wasn't a warehouse, but like you used to sort out mail and stuff.
I got you.
You know, so I did that, and then from there I went to Blue Cross and Blue Shield, worked there, and I was there for a little minute.
At Blue Cross?
Yeah. Until my 21st birthday. They didn't want to give me the day off, and I'm young. I said, bump that job.
So you
I
quit
found
on
another one.
You quit on your 21st birthday.
Sure did.
Because they didn't want to give you time off.
Yep.
Okay. That's a new one.
I found another one.
Right.
That was my mindset. I can get another job.
Right.
21. No.
No, because we ain't thinking like that. We like, yeah, we can get another job.
Listen,
this one.
First of all, I was 21, which means I was actually legal, and I can really go to the club now. In the hood, like where we live, man, I started going to the club at like 14. You know, we was
just hanging out,
having a good time. Look, that bigger Rankins was young. He wasn't like he is now, but that's where he started. Like, that's what we knew. They ain't check ID. You paid your $7. I get to hang out with my older cousins. Never smoke, drink. I just wanted to just
have a good time.
Just be around, you know, other than my siblings, other than cleaning up, other than, you know, stuff like that. So 21, I was like, man, I ain't going to work Friday. I want to go out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I want to do it.
And this is with having 2 kids, because you're 21 now.
Yeah, and my mom, you know, she worked off and on after her situation she went through, because she had been on her job like almost 20 years, but then when that happened, it was just life changes.
Gotcha.
So she's always been supportive. She's like the best grandma ever. So I never, and then I had younger siblings
that can help too.
Yeah, they gonna babysit. Get them $20.
Yeah. So you
take them
you
somewhere.
had that free time to go. Yeah.
Listen.
As long as they
that was the least of my worries. Yeah, they was good.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I just, like I say, I worked. I did what I needed to do, and then from Blue Cross, I worked at a doctor's office and worked there. I always did my own hair and stuff like that.
Were you doing hair on the side anywhere in that time frame with people?
Like, if people would ask me, my mom actually went to school for hair, and she introduced me to like my first hair show. And at that time, I had to be like 13, and I was very intrigued, but I didn't think I was gonna be a hairstylist. And then I never really aspired to do hair. I just knew I was good with my hands.
How did you learn though? How did you? Watching? Did she teach you?
I feel like
because like I
feel like this is a God-given talent, and I'm gonna tell you why I feel like that. Because it might not be perfect, but if I see it, I can create something, or I can redo it. So I always would do my hair, be creative, or if I was watching the box. We were watching the box. I'm like, I can do that, you know.
I remember the box.
I'm telling my
Get
age.
your songs played,
yeah, man. So of course that saved money, because now like I can do my sister's hair.
Right.
In high school, you know, I had teachers that would be like, "Oh, who do your hair? And I'm like, me. And they were like, okay, well, and you know me, I ain't know. I'm like, okay, I'll do it.
Did you do your teacher's hair?
I had a few.
Okay.
And I did their hair in high school. And actually, once I became a stylist, they clients. They still come.
When you were doing the hair in high school and stuff, did you ever think of it being a business, or it was just extra money?
It was just extra money.
Just extra money.
Yeah, it was just extra money.
So you get some extra money along the way. You still working your other jobs.
Yeah, I wasn't doing hair like that.
Yeah.
But it was funny because so was at the doctor's office, worked there, was gonna work there forever. And then the doctors split up, and so I went with a doctor, but because they had just started their business, they weren't able to offer me the benefits and stuff like that. And I had 2 kids.
Right.
So I ended up leaving the doctor's office. Listen, I was 17 when I had my son. He was a preemie. He was born at 28 weeks. He was 3 pounds. So he didn't have like problems, but he always had to get checked. He a NICU baby. Yeah. So I needed my benefits. I need insurance. You know, and that was my main thing. I really didn't care how much I was getting paid, because for whatever, when you poor, you know how to budget. You just don't know you know how to budget.
You budgeted because you know you don't have but so much.
Right. And so, you know, I've always been pretty independent when it came to like paying my bills and stuff like that. And I moved out. Like, I knew I had this baby. I couldn't stay with my mom forever. And my first, I'm going to go back, but my first apartment that I got, I applied for HUD. And they sent me a letter saying that I was approved. That was an accident. And
why was it an accident?
Well, they sent out the wrong letter to me. So I wasn't paying my rent. I thought they were. Then I get an eviction notice one day because they're saying I hadn't paid my rent in 3 months. But they was doing it like on a sliding scale. Now, mind you, I told you I was working at Blue Cross then. So back then, $9.62 was a lot. Right. And I think I was making like $25 more than what they allowed. Literally, $25 for the month. They said, you over $25, you don't qualify. At that point, I knew I didn't want to be on the system. So I worked and did what I had to do. Yeah, and so, of course, I budget because I need to make sure I pay my rent. Right. I've always been in the car, so I've always wanted a nice car.
So they made you leave that place?
Nah, well, either pay or leave.
Right.
But what happened was the manager, she was like, yeah, this is like a crazy misunderstanding. So she was able to make some calls, and I just pretty much, like, they said, well, can you pay this much, and then you could stay.
Did they put you on HUD or?
No, I never got HUD. Never been on HUD. Never been on HUD.
Oh, so you still had to pay the regular amount?
Yep, $462.
And that was
living
it.
At Mayfair Village. I had a 2-bedroom, 1 bath with no central heating there.
$462.
Hey, I remember those things.
Yeah,
that's
I wish
my
I
first
could pay
apartment.
$462.
I wish I could pay that too. So that with me, like I say, I needed my benefits, and when I left the doctor's office, I started working at Aetna, and my stepmom worked there.
So you had some decent jobs.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on that phone and make sure the money right.
You had some decent jobs.
Oh yeah, and my plan was to actually work at Aetna till I retire.
So Aetna came after the doctor's office.
After the doctor's office. Yep, I started at Aetna in 2004.
And how long did you work at Aetna? What you did at Aetna? What did you do?
Customer service rep. What all y'all black girls do?
Answer the phone.
Thank you for calling Aetna. How can I help you? But that was, I think, customer service.
How long were you there?
I worked there from 2004 until 2008.
Okay, so about 4 years there. So what did you do after that? What did you?
So in 2006. I got pregnant with my 3rd child. Okay. My 3rd baby daddy. But we all worked at Aetna together. And
he worked there too? Okay. How did that go?
So we was gonna have some good benefits.
How did that go? Like
oh, we was cool.
Okay, y'all cool.
Until I got pregnant, and 7 months in, he decided like, yeah, I don't think I really want no baby. So that was a bad breakup that took a toll on me. It took a toll on my mental. Because here I was thinking like, you know, I got my stuff together. You know, I'm good now because I only got 2 kids. So if I'm dating somebody, okay, you got 2. Okay, you can't have more than 2 because then somebody ain't got nobody to play with.
Right.
So, you know, and I started missing days from work, and I was good at it, and I loved it. Like, I was gonna stay there forever. And then I had her in 2007, and then 2008, just dealing with life, dealing with like the breakup and all of that. I started missing days from work, just started going through stuff. And I've always been the strong one, and I didn't want people to know that I was going through something. And I battled a lot.
Yeah.
And
like, when you say battled a lot, what were you battling with?
Depression, not knowing what's next. Like, here I am, 27, 3 kids, third baby daddy, not married. Like, it was a lot.
So I got you. You thinking about a lot. And
and I'm older now. Yeah. You know. So I started.
That 21-year-old mind frame was gone.
Listen, the benefits didn't look like I needed them to, and the stuff starting to go up. And here I am having to take care of 3 kids again. I mean, I had my family support, but you don't have kids to say, I want to be a single mama.
Yeah, I got you.
So, from there, I started going back to church. You know, we were always run to God when things go wrong, but you gotta still do it when it's right.
Gotta stay there.
And let me go back. So when I was 21, when I left Blue Cross, I told my dad I lost my job, but I ain't tell him why. And I said, I need you to help me pay my rent. My dad was like, I'll help you, but I know you be out here partying. So you gonna work or you gonna go to school? So I went to hair school for like 3 months, and then once he was like helping me, then I quit. So I was like, I'm gonna go to school. So I went to hair school for like 3 months, and people was like, oh, we see something in you. You gonna be this, that, and I went trying to feel that.
You went to hair school at what age?
21.
21. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
But I just signed up for school because my dad wasn't gonna help me.
Okay, yeah, because I was at 27. You were still at Aetna.
I was at Aetna.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went to school. Did you finish?
Nope.
Okay.
I only stayed 3 months.
You just went just because you knew your dad was gonna help.
Yeah. Once he started helping me again, I was back in them streets. I was tearing jazz co down.
So at what point did you get into the hair industry? Like, go full stream? You done
left
Aetna?
I kept wanting to quit Aetna, and my boss was like, I'm not gonna let you quit, because if you quit, you know, this and that. So, you know, they realized something was wrong with me. So, you know, I started using my FMLA, getting counseling and stuff like that. So I left Aetna, and the day that I decided to leave, I was gonna quit, and my boss wouldn't let me quit. So she said, sit at your desk all day, I'm gonna write you up, and then when I fire you, you can get unemployment, and then you need to figure out what you're gonna do with your kids. So I was like, all right, cool. Did that. Boom. That was 2008.
So she told you to stay there until you get fired.
She helped me.
I got you.
She helped me. And this when Obama came in office. So, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was, if you was on unemployment, it was like almost kind of like the pandemic unemployment they be talking about. So one day, and anything that I do, I research it, I pray about it. I ain't, I don't know, holy roller, but I definitely believe that there's a higher being, and when you do what you're supposed to do, good things will follow.
Correct.
So, the day that I left Aetna, I wasn't sad. I wasn't hurt. I thought I was gonna be like upset.
Yeah.
And but like 2 weeks leading up to that, I kept getting headaches going to work. So. And I'm never sick or nothing like that. So I'm like, why I'm getting these headaches? It was a job. So the day that I left, I called my mom. I was like, hey, I don't work there no more. She was like, what you gonna do? I was like, I don't know. I said, but I'm good. I'm like, I feel happy.
Right.
This was like November. So I'm riding down University or whatever, you know. And instead of me going home, I was like, well, I'm gonna go to my mama's house and chill, you know. And so my car started making a noise. So I pulled into a parking lot, but you know what I'm saying? I just got laid off, so I'm all over the place. And so I pulled over, I get ready to call, I don't know if I called my dad or I got a younger brother. I called one of them, and I called my mom, and they telling me what to check. I'm a girl, you know, so I'm like, I don't know what this sound like.
Look at it.
But I'm gonna tell you something. There wasn't nothing wrong with my car, that was God, and I'm gonna tell you why. So when I pulled over in the parking lot, and then I'm checking the car, and you know, back that 2008, my car didn't have the beep beep. And so when I got out to check the car, I locked the keys in the car. So now I'm discombobulated. I'm on the phone. I'm frustrated.
The car was running?
Car was running. So I walked into a building not paying attention, and I had my cell phone in my hand. Cell phone died.
And when you walk into the building?
Well, my cell phone died while I'm trying to check. So I walk into the building. I'm like, can I use your phone? Can I, I'm flustered. And they was like, well, this ain't a public place, but let me talk to somebody. So a lady comes up front, and I'm like, ma'am, I please need to use her phone. I don't lock my keys in the car. And so she let me use the phone, and she's staring at me the whole time. And so I used the phone, do what I need to do, Pop Lock came, whatever. And then when Pop Lock came, my car was fine. So I went back in to thank her. And she said, you don't remember me? And I'm like, She said, I thought you came in here to hire somebody for your salon. I look at the door. I'm like, oh, shoot, this is a hair school. And she said, I remember you. She said, you not doing hair? I was like, heck no. She said, go get your purse. I said, okay. Go get my purse. She said, I'm going to sign you up for hair school. It ain't no way you shouldn't be doing hair.
Wow.
I laughed. I was like, I'll talk to you. I ain't going to school. I got 3 kids. Wow. Got to make some money.
Right.
And she was like, you going to school. And I was just like, and then I remember who she was. I said, Miss D. She said, oh, now you remember me? I said, yeah. So this was November, like the end of November.
So she was the instructor from when you first
went. When I was 21.
When you 21.
And she remembered me.
Wow.
So.
Hold on, we got to stop real quick. So hold on, because that's crazy. Your car you thought had an issue. You pulled over into a spot that you don't even know, not paying attention. You're already panicking, lock the keys in the car. Your phone dies. You go in here and ask the lady can use the phone. She comes to the front, and it has to be your old instructor who signs you back up into hair school.
Like I had a job, and I was telling her, what happened. Same day I got laid off.
Right.
So she signed me up. We're going through the process, and, I had some people that was like, that'll be dope. Get your license. You'll always have it behind you.
Right.
And then I had some people that was like, who finna take care of your kids while you at school? So something happened with the paperwork where I couldn't sign up because the class was supposed to start in December. So she was like, you've been working since you're 17, you're 28. She said, enjoy Thanksgiving and Christmas with your family. And she said, we're going to get the paperwork straightened out, and you'll be back here January 5th. So I started hair school January 5th, 2009. The program, I think, was like 18 months or 12 months, something full-time. But we didn't have to clock the hours as strictly as they do now, like where it's set.
Right.
But long as you went, you can get your hours. So my hours was Monday through Thursday from like 8 to 4. So I applied for my unemployment, started going to school, and I was like, my unemployment going to run out in October. How can I finish in October? So even though my schedule was Monday through Thursday, like 8 to 6, something like that, they allowed me to go extra. So I went Monday through Saturday. I went every day. They was open. So I ended up finishing in 10 months, and then I challenged the board.
So you finished in 10 months instead of 18.
Yeah. Okay. And you have to have 1,200 hours, but you can request a test out at 1,000. And then if you pass, you get your license. If you fail, you take your butt back to school. So in the midst of me doing that, going to school, the right people kept coming in my path. And I was allowed to shadow at a barbershop, and that gave me my first start. And the owner of that barbershop really poured a lot into me that I didn't really see into myself. And he would always say, man, you can have your own business. I'm like,
around what year was that?
People like me don't get their own business. That was 2009. And I got my license December the 21st, 2009. So
still after getting your license and doing that, you're not thinking about getting a business. You're just like...
No, I just going to do hair.
Just do hair, yeah.
But while I was in school, like I said, the right people, I kept meeting the right people. Like people that would come speak at the school. And then I started going to hair shows and stuff like that. And so then I did work at a salon here in 2011. And then when I left there, I worked there for like a year. And then I left there because I just wanted to do a little bit more. Still feeling my way around the industry. And I left there and I went to I just found like a salon to work in. But I was the only person in the salon. And here I am. I'm just starting out to do hair. I don't really know nothing. And so my uncle, I was telling him, I was like, because I know a lot of people in Jacksonville and a lot of people know me. But when it comes to business, everybody that I picked up the phone to call or that I was talking to that, quote unquote, been in the game longer than me, how much should I charge for sew-ins, or how much should I charge for shampoo and sets? Is there a certain type of product that I need to use for XYZ? And everybody just was like, you straight, you got it, you straight, you got
So
nobody.
Ain't giving you no info.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. So at that point, I just kept going to shows, hair shows, and learning about different things, and that like piqued my interest because I wanted to be an educator. I wanted to be on the stage with my shades on, cutting and doing all that. I was able to do that, but at the time, everybody's like, "Well, you still new. You got it." And then 2011, I said to myself, why am I working in anybody else's shop who can't help me?
Right.
If I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail on my own. And I found a little spot next to remember the African and the reptile place or whatever. And that was my very first salon.
So that was the first salon.
And my uncle helped me.
What year was the first salon open?
2011.
So 2011.
October 3rd, 2011.
2011, you got your first salon open.
Yep.
Right? Is it just you in there?
Yep.
So it's just you. How's the clientele?
Well, the salon that I worked at the longest for the year, they already had a big clientele, and like, I feel like if something is God ordained, it will happen. So when I left and moved, I was nervous because people always would say, when you leave the shop, they ain't gonna go with you.
Right.
You're gonna have to lower your prices, and I did that. I lowered my prices. I left, which I shouldn't have lowered my prices. I should have just kept them. I know that now, which I teach that in one of my courses. But when I left, people that weren't my clients came to me, and because I had a corporate background, I never was late to work. If the salon opened at 9, I'd be sitting in the parking lot at 8:30.
Just there.
Yeah, I'm at work. Even now, people be like, "But you the owner. Why you always here first?" I'm always the first one that last to leave.
Still.
Even now. Even now. So I just use like my corporate to kind of put like how I wanted to be with my clients, and then as I started growing in the industry, I would incorporate other things.
How long did that location stay there?
I was there for a year.
For a year.
The building was nice, but the parking, we had outgrew the parking. We didn't have enough parking, and then I went and got like a house with all these rooms, and I can't remember which hurricane, but the hurricane damaged the building, and the insurance didn't cover acts of God, and my landlord didn't want to cover it, so we just dissolved, and then I moved to my third location, and I was there for 4 years.
So the third location for 4 years. Did you have other people, stylists at that time?
Yeah, at that time I was doing booth rent, which most salons will do, like where somebody just rent a chair and they pay a set fee. But as I started growing in the industry and, like I said, meeting the right people, I was meeting people who, like, I wanted to just do hair to make money, and I knew that my brother told me it's just like the dope game. You gonna flip it.
Right.
Just your clients, you just flipping up. So that's how I looked at my clients. So once I started meeting other people outside of Jacksonville, it's two in particular that I met, and they changed my outlook and my mindset. So that third location, we've transitioned out of MySpace. Now we're on Facebook.
Right.
So at that time, people were like, we want to work with you. We see you doing your thing, da-da-da-da. And all I was doing was posting before and after pictures and saying, hey, come see me. I do hair.
Right.
I got openings. But people looked at that as marketing and branding. And I guess it was at that time, but I wasn't doing anything. I didn't think special.
It was that scale when you think early MySpace, late MySpace.
Yeah, because we had just transitioned out of MySpace, and then I started posting on Facebook. There was no Instagram and no Snapchat.
Yeah, none of that. Yeah. None of that. Yeah.
So I always would take pictures of my work to see if I was getting better. I knew how to braid and I knew how to do updos, but when it came to cuts, color, and things like that, I lacked. But from me going to shows, there were people that I was like, that looked tight. I want to do that.
So you did invest into your business and yourself by going to these shows and things of that nature. So you got your third location. You were there for 5 years.
My lease
years.
was 5, but
Okay.
we were asked to move. The whole strip was asked to move at year 4.
Did that lead you to the location that you're at now?
Yes.
Okay.
And that left me to make sure you have a lawyer on deck.
Gotta have that lawyer on deck.
In the time of me at that location that we were at, it wasn't a small location, but it was nice. We kept expanding. So in that time period, I'm taking classes, I'm teaching classes, I'm doing a lot, I'm traveling. So I switch over from booth rent to commission. And everybody was like, black people don't do commission, and if they do it right, it don't last. Da, 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 da.
Oh, so you went from, you had it at booth rent where
yeah, and then
your stylists are paying you.
I got a mentor and a coach, and I said I want to do commission because I wanted to have control over my business and my brand. Because now I'm realizing, yo, these people looking at me like I'm McDonald's or something.
Right.
So it changed my outlook, and it changed my pockets too.
Right.
Because I ended up getting a good structure to where the business started to run itself. So I didn't have to do as many clients because I had other stylists that were making their money, the salon get their percentage, and I made sure they were booked, and then I was able to go off and
do other things.
Yeah.
I got you. So that makes, so let me ask you that question. Does that I guess the booth rent versus commission, the commission pays out more
if you have a great structure.
If you have a great structure.
Yes.
Okay. Because with booth rent, they just pay that
They
one
pay
fee,
a flat fee, and
then
depending
they
on
keep
what
the
your
rest.
bills are, you may make some profit, but you ain't making that much profit off booth rent. But some people look at it just to say, like, I have my own salon. When I started really going to church and soul searching, at the time, I can't remember what year, but it was right when I started, like, I had just got out of hair school and kind of still working at the salons, which is kind of why I decided to like move and leave. I was going to Impact at the time, and we did 40 Days of Purpose. And I was inviting other people to church, but the word was for me. So when I realized my purpose, and I just asked God to put the right people in my life, they came.
He started bringing them. Asking, you shall receive.
What? You got to be careful what you ask for, though.
Yeah, you got to be
Because
specific.
if you ain't prepared,
yeah.
And I would ask for overflow, and I would ask for abundance and great stylists and this and that, but I didn't ask for understanding, and once I get this, what's next? Because nobody wants to be on commission forever. So I had my stylists on commission for 3 years, which they were the bomb, but they got to a point, they're like, yeah, we making all this money, but now we don't want to do commission. And at that time, I didn't have an exit plan. And so I was consistently learning, but I just knew that I wanted to be different. I knew that I didn't see a lot of salons like on the radio. I didn't see them on TV commercials. I didn't see them running billboards.
Do you think that's what separates you from like the other stylists?
Yeah, I ain't worried about nobody else. I was just trying to be better than I was. I ain't want to be broke no more.
Right.
And then once I
So you was competing with yourself.
With myself. So I had a plan, like, I want to make this per day. And then once I saw I could really make more and learning other techniques instead of saying, oh, everybody do frontals, I want to do frontals. You know, I really figured out, like, where I wanted to be. Came back, and really I feel like this is what did it for me. So in the salon, we have like 5 stylists, and that's when I stopped watching TV. I started reading. Because you can take so many classes, but you got to really retain that knowledge.
And you got to apply it.
So that's what I do. I retain and I apply. So I started working on Facebook ads.
We're going to keep going.
Okay.
But they just got to wait outside. Let me know you ready. You go ahead. Just pick up for where you was at.
Okay. So
I'm going to lead it from there.
So for me, like, I didn't want to be poor. I wanted to make sure that I had enough money. At this point, marketing, just putting stuff. I just wanted to put myself out there. We have a salon full of people.
How many you have in there now?
We have 5.
5? Okay. So are they on commission?
No.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why I switched though. So we running a commission first year, and so I gotta say my right hand, Chris Vega. Chris Vega been with me since the beginning. We met either at an event.
Rapper?
Yeah, singer, rapper.
I didn't know that. She does hair?
No.
Oh,
she's
okay.
my right hand.
Okay, gotcha.
So we met like online or something, and I needed an assistant, and I was like, "Can you help me?"
Right.
She turned down to my model, and I'm like, "This is what I'm trying to do." She believed in my vision, and so when we started doing the commission, I'm like, "Okay, she know how to do this." So how I would hire people is I didn't want everybody who doing the same thing, so everybody did something
different.
Yes,
Gotcha.
and I would give them my goals, and I'm a workaholic. I'm gonna work.
I see you there, sun up, sun down.
Listen,
first to come, first to last to leave.
At this point, like nobody can tell me how much I can make. It's some days if I don't want to work, I might make a couple of $100. Most days, I say I average probably like right now. I would say I work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday 9 to about 8:30. Saturdays I work like 9 to 3. If I'm feeling in the spirit, I'm gonna stay all night.
Right.
But normally right now, mid COVID, I probably made maybe about $1,500 a day.
What about before COVID? What would be like?
Before COVID, my goal was 2,000.
2,000 a day.
But according to my written life goals, how much I need to be making per day, at this point in my career, it was $1,000 at this point. But 5 years ago, it was only like $500, and I was doing that by 10 o'clock. And so all my stylists were eating. But if somebody don't have the same vision as you,
right,
it's always going to be somebody in their ear. You making this, but your commission is.
How did you keep them? Like, how do you keep the people there? The stylists?
I'm just me. Bonuses. You have to treat people how you want to be treated.
Right.
And I tell anybody that work with me, if you don't love where you work, your clients won't love it. And if your clients don't love it, they're not going to come.
Right.
And people aren't really coming because of y'all. They coming because of the brand. And people will say, I want it, I want it, I want it. Oh, I want to be Instagram famous. I want to have all these followers. I know plenty of people who got a lot of followers and ain't got a pot to piss in.
Yeah.
Broke. So, I have plenty stylist friends. I have stylists that will call me all day. I need a vendor. I need help. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that.
Now, let me ask you this, because nobody was trying to give you the help. Do you give help?
All the time.
Okay, good.
All the time.
So you giving help to people and, giving your knowledge
shoot,
on the game.
you know what? Wifey, that's my business buddy. You know what I'm saying?
She always telling me how you helping her.
I have no problem, because at the end of the day, what's for me is for me.
Right.
When I came up with my, I'm gonna share something with you that I haven't even put in my own, because I do a lot of filming of my life. I don't know what guy I got doing, but so my salon, I'm gonna share this and then we can whatever.
Yeah, go ahead, we good.
So when I decided that I was gonna open a salon, I didn't want to do it just because of the money. I wanted it to be right. I didn't know where my path would lead. And it's funny because people be like, I want to work with you, I want to do this, and I'm like, I'm still learning myself. I'm trial and error on myself. But when I opened my salon, I didn't know that social media was gonna make this word glam this thing. When I opened in 2011, wasn't no glams in Jacksonville. There was no glam nothing.
Was that the original name?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was the original name because I couldn't think of a name. Me and my sisters, we tried to think of all kind of stuff, and I wanted to be different. I didn't really want to use Tiffany Monae.
Right.
So I prayed about it, and God gave me a couple of words and what I was going through, and that's how my salon ended up being glam. But the vision was God, life, and me.
Oh, that's dope.
So. And glam is what it is.
Oh, that's hard.
That's what it
God,
is.
life, and me.
So, I don't worry about what other people doing. It could be 1,000 glams, but if that thing ain't God ordained, you won't be able to walk into your purpose. You won't be able to have that prosperity.
Big facts. Big facts. Talk that talk.
So, I don't speak negative. I speak very positive. In the mornings. My son, he's a barber as well. He messed up my meditation this morning. I meditate every morning. I don't listen to the radio or anything like that. In the mornings, I either ride in silence and I pray, and I just speak over my business, and I pray over my business. But at the same time, it don't matter how talented you are. I came from the hood. I ain't got no college background. I ain't never did none of that. I read a lot. I retain, and I'm real.
What you put effort into your craft, you know.
Oh yeah, you have to. Cause if you keep doing the same thing over and over and you're not getting those results that you want, how do you expect to change?
Yeah, they call that insanity.
Yeah, and I don't want that.
I got you. So before we wrap up, how did you come up with the name Tiffany Monae? Because off camera we was talking about that, but you got to explain to the people.
So at the time, I was going to work in a salon, and I was noticing different stylists were going by all these names or whatever. And so there was a stylist who I looked up to, and her name was similar to mine. And I'm like, well, I don't want to have the same name as her. And I didn't want to use my maiden name because I was in the process of getting married. And then I was like, well, I don't want to use my married name because technically we ain't married yet. And at the time, like I told you, I wanted to be an educator. So me and my friends was just joking around one day. And like I said, I always tell people, even before I started doing hair, don't put broke and me in the same sentence. So we was joking and we was talking. We were watching New Jack City or something, and we just started saying Money Monae, and I was like, "Yo, that's it, Tiffany Monae."
Tiffany Monae.
And I still have people that would be like, they still call me Money Monae.
Right.
So I just did the Tiffany Monae, and my middle name is Michelle. So when they see the M, they just assume.
Michelle. I got you.
And I've tried to come like I want to be just Tiffany.
No,
but
it's the Tiffany Monae.
Yeah, it's stuck.
But it go together.
It go together. It's stuck.
Yeah, it's all good.
And so I just use that as one of my businesses under my brand. So I have, my Tiffany Monae apparel, educational products.
Yeah, tell me before we wrap up about the courses. Let them know like the courses that you have, because I heard you mention that.
So for me, like I said, when I was trying to start really getting, like, it wasn't to be a business, it was just I needed to know that I was charging right so that stuff balanced out. And when you go into different salons, like, they'll give you a number, but in my head, it ain't making sense.
I got you.
So I started out as a platform artist, which basically I used to work for other companies. And I saw, like, I could do this. And so instead of me saying, I want to teach you how to do weaves or this and that, which I do, I teach everything, hairstyling, working on set and different things like that. But my main focus was to teach business. So I started out with Motivational Mondays, which I would bring in myself, other artists, and I was just charging like $99, and it would be a 6-week series. So I've done that.
And that's teaching about the business,
about the beauty industry, and it's a multi-billion-dollar business that everybody want a piece of. Everybody sell hair, everybody sell lashes, everybody, and you don't have to be licensed to do it, but if you're gonna do it the right way. Right. My moving into the salon where we are now, God ordained, the business that I had been in, we did a 5-year lease. Year 4, I was going through a little something, and I was like, oh, I don't like this. It's just not what it need to be. I didn't like the blueprint situation. Right. My stylist was off the chain. Right. So I switched over to commission. Everybody downplayed commission, but I found a great mentor who was able to help me structure and guide me to where I needed to be before I elevate. So I went to my landlord, and I said, I know I got a year left on this lease. Like, I'm going to have to break it. And he was like, you break this lease, you're going to have to pay me, Like, it was business. And so I stayed still. I prayed. God said, stay still. I had looked at other little buildings. I almost gave a man money, but God said, stay still. That was January. In July, my landlord came to me and said, hey, I need you to sign this lease addendum. Me, I'm like, what's the lease addendum? So at this time, I'm protecting the assets, the business.
Right.
Call my attorney. Hey, can you look at this? What this mean? I don't know what none of this mean. So whereas if I had broken my lease, I would still be responsible for the remainder. The way that the lease was negotiated, because I had already had, an attorney negotiate it, because he asked me to do a lease addendum and move out, let me slide my negotiations in.
I got you.
So now he got to pay me. He made it very hard for me. He made it very hard and would just...
He didn't want to come up off that money.
He didn't want to come up off the money. And he got a lot of buildings. Right. But what happened was we ended up coming to an agreement. And God blessed me with triple the amount of space for less money.
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? Listen, literally, we went from 1,000 square feet to like 3,500 square feet. Warehouse, plenty of parking, because parking was an issue.
Right.
Plenty of parking, and it's great. Like, life is good.
So, okay, life is great. God ordained. So how can someone get your course? How can they link with you to
right now,
learn the business?
I have several group business classes that I'm doing. I also do one-on-ones. Everything is linked to my website, tiffanymonae.com. I set up consultations. I can do branding your business, helping you with logos, names. I work with several, many. I spread my money around.
I got you.
So I work with a lot of people from Jacksonville to Atlanta to New York, everywhere. I've been blessed enough to, like I say, my mentor, I definitely have to say, if you are in a beauty industry or if you have any type of business, if I can't help you, my mentor and coach, Sharita Cherry, she's out of Atlanta. She's amazing. And I call this man my brother Terrence Davidson. I work under his company, Legion of Glam. And I met him at a hair show and we clicked. Any class he had, anything he had, I always supported him. He's always supported me. I've had the opportunity to work with many celebrities and be around great people. Hair shows. We just were on Netflix.
Yeah, I
see. Little bit of everything. Little bit of everything. So, yeah, Sharita, Terrence, there's so many people that I can really think that have really helped me. But they really, Sharita definitely helped me understand the business.
The business part, yeah.
And groom this little girl from the hood because I was a little rough around the edges.
Right.
But I can adapt to my situations and I can deal with all types of people. My clientele are a range. And being a young mother and growing up with my kids to now becoming a 40-year-old woman. And my kids, I have a kid in, is it every decade? What you say? I got a 5-year-old, a 13-year-old, 21, 22. Yeah. My kids, they all over.
Right.
So I'm family oriented. I love that. But I don't ever want my kids to see me struggle. And I want to be able to leave something for them.
Awesome, man. I'm going to say something to the camera. Give you a second to put some words together. I want you to give some inspiration to someone who's trying to get into the hair business or maybe they already just got out of school and don't know which way to go or what to do. So gather your thoughts real quick.
I got you.
But this is what this podcast is about, man, from A to Z. As you can see, her story is amazing. 17, she had a child. At 19, she had a child. At 21, she had a child. She could have stopped then when she got fired from her job at, was that Aetna?
Yeah.
You know, she could have stopped. It was so many different things that could have derailed her, but she kept going. And the number one thing I kept hearing you saying was you invested into yourself by going to these different conferences, by going to the hair shows and learning how to do this, how to do it, and really put it in. So you put the effort in. But tell somebody what they got to do, you know, if they're trying to get into the hair business.
In any business, in anything you do in life, if you're not a believer, you need to become a believer. God can do whatever you need him to do if you ask. You don't be afraid to ask for help. You got to be so humble. In business, importantly, know your laws, know your rights. Get you a business buddy, get you a partner, somebody that you can just say, hey girl, or hey guy, what you got going on? And don't be afraid to pour into somebody else. Because you never know what somebody has went through that they are willing to help you. It's so much money out here. Entrepreneurship, clothing, fitness, hair, whatever you do, we have the power in our hands, in our heads. And if you have it in your heart, you're gonna explode. And don't be afraid. You text all day, read some books. Please read. Let's say, get you a knowledgeable coach, someone that you can just like say, hey, how does this sound? And don't be afraid to stop learning. I am 40 years old, and during the pandemic, I probably took 20 webinars because I was home. And it was able to help me to do other things and learn, and you can never stop learning, especially as a hairstylist. Right. Don't think you know it all. It's a different trend come out every day. So keep pushing.
That's the number one thing, guys. You gotta stay learning, man. Don't think that you know it all. But I really appreciate you coming through, man. I just learned a whole bunch about you that I didn't even know. I didn't know you was out there in the streets like that. She was out there, man. But y'all make sure y'all follow her. We're gonna have your handle on here and all that other stuff, man. And please subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification button. Make sure you tune in from A to Z. I got my homie here, as y'all can see, Tiffany Monae. Make sure you follow her. And I appreciate you for coming through.
Thank you, and I definitely appreciate this. And all you guys got to do is just Google me, Tiffany Monae. Hey, it's gonna come up.
That's it.
Hey, you got to make sure that marketing is gonna come up.
Out of here, man. That's what's up.